Alright, this next program is going to be all about operators. So operators are instructions like add, subtract, multiply, divide, a couple other things like that we'll get into. But basically in our programming, a lot of them look like you would think they would. So a list of them here. You got your arithmetic operators. That's what we're going to do first here. But then we get into the logical, the binary, comparison, assignment, string concatenation, we already covered that one, type conversion, and then some other ones as well. But what we're going to do first here is some of the basic ones. We talk about prioritizing, how they're prioritized. That is a lot like you would think of it, and you put things in brackets as well to change the priority of how things are done. So let's get into a program here to demonstrate how some of this works. So we're going to take two numbers. We're going to create an integer called result, another one called x and y, and then we're going to do some manipulation with those. We're going to start off by adding them, subtracting them, multiplying them, dividing them, and then doing a modulo. And a modulo is basically a remainder. So if you're doing a division, how much of a remainder do you have? So if it divides evenly, your modulo is 0. If it divides and you have a remainder of 1, you should get a modulo of 1. So let's have a look at how that works. So this is what our program is going to look like here. So let's actually go ahead and create this. So integer result. Stop this program. Create a new program. Next. This is going to be program 3. Operators. Okay, so we have got integer result, and we have integer x, integer y. We're going to write this a couple different ways here. Then we have x is going to be equal to 5, y is equal to 10. Is that the way they want us to do it? Is it 5 and 10 or 10 and 5? 10 and 5. So that's one way we can do this. Another way we could do this, see how this takes this many lines right now? That's doing the exact same thing in a more compact way. So create an integer variable of x that's equal to 10 and an integer variable of y is equal to 5. That's the same as the code that I had written, but doing it in a more compact way. So we're going to get in the habit of doing that if we can, just because it makes it more easy. So start off by the thing I always forget. Console read line. Stick that at the end. So let's say results is going to equal to x plus y. So that is using the addition operator. Console write line. Addition equals space, so that's going to be kind of all the header text that's going to go in front of this, and then concatenate that with, throw some more spaces in there, concatenate that with result. So that's going to print addition to the screen. Let's just demonstrate that. That should print out the addition of 10 and 5 to the screen. Addition gives us 15. Okay. So let's do that same thing, but do it with subtraction. Subtraction. So for that one, we're going to change this operator. Let's make that a subtract. So that should give us 10 minus 5, which should be a 5. So we should get 15 and then 5. All right. Good. Now let's do the same thing for multiplication and division. This one's going to be multiplication. This one's going to be division. Division. Multiplication. This one's operator for multiplication is the asterisk. Operator for division is the slash. So we get 50, and then we get 10 divided by 5. It gives us a 2. And the very last one is the modulo. Symbol for modulo is a percent sign. So 10 divided by 2, the modulo is a 0. Now let's watch this if we change the numbers. Let's change this to 11. So 11 and 5. So now add it together, 16. Subtracted is 6, multiplied 55, division. Now remember, these are integers we are dividing. So when you divide integers, you're only talking about whole numbers. So there's no decimals here. So 11 divided by 5, in integer math, that is a 2. But what you do get, you have a modulo that goes with that, sort of a remainder. So divided by 2, 11 divided by 5 gives you 2. But you have a modulo of 1, you have a remainder of 1 that's left over. So the same thing if we did 13 divided by 5, that should give you a modulo of 3. We're still going to get a 2 with a modulo of 3. Okay, so that is our program here for program 3. That went together pretty quick. So there's a lot of code here. So that one, I'll probably take a screenshot. This one here you might have to put here. You might be better off putting this into 2 different screenshots. So I can do this. Put that in my file. Like I said, maybe you're better off doing 2 different screenshots here. So maybe doing this as one. The bigger our programs get, the more often you're going to have to do this. That might become a better option for you to do the 2 different shots instead of that. Whichever works, whatever I can read. Either one is good. As programs get bigger, multiple screenshots probably going to become necessary. But that would be it for program number 3.